trading an Iron Condor on OptionsRobot. So there's a couple different ways to do it. First way is to go over to trade, go to option chains, and we have a strategy selection up here. So the quickest way, you can go in and do it manually, buy, sell, and it'll all highlight. So if I buy, I can sell one against it, right? We can build that way, but that's not the fastest way. The fastest way is to go in with a strategy selection, go down to your Iron Condor, and you can select and default how you want your strategy to be. So if I want to sell a put straddle or a put that is 25 delta in terms of the short put and the short call, depending on which delta you want to be, and then having the long protective put and the long protective call, right? Those are right basically here. And then you can also select how many days to expiration you want. Some of you guys may like a week out. Some of you guys may be doing 0 DTEs, so you can make that decision on how you want that to be. Then save your default, set as your default, and then save and apply. And what that will do, now if I go back over to my Iron Condor, this will automatically pull up an Iron Condor in the closest expiration to the duration that we had selected with the closest options. Now you may decide, based off of this, that the strikes are too wide. So maybe I want to clean this up a little bit and go currently trading around 672. And on the call side, right, 83 versus 88, you may want to go wider than this. So maybe you want to be, maybe I want to do like the 85s versus the 95s, something along those lines, do $10 wides. And then on the downside, this one, again, 672, maybe you want to be 655, 645. That's not too bad. So as long as it fits your criteria, now you can work this around in terms of going wider, thinking, okay, maybe I want to be a little bit wider on the put side. And we can look that way, do like a 650, 640, and you can check what your credit will be. So again, this should adjust and update in terms of that. Now, when we go to do the entry, you can select the midpoint. You can select market, which I rarely ever talk about on a whatever. Say, do the market on an Iron Condor. You're always trying to get the best price, especially working the bid-ask spread with 4 options. So we would typically go custom. I would select the credit and then try to work the credit of where you can be. So this is suggesting, somewhere in here of about 270. So I would start around 270 on that price and then place my order. Okay, so that would be the first way to do that. Now, the nice thing about what OptionsRobot gives you is templates. And these templates allow you to place orders in a much faster way. So this one basically just suggesting if I want to buy the spread back for $1, then it would automatically put that in. So I'll just do that real quick to show you. And you can see that's automatically built in. Now, this is probably not one that is, I don't want to say complex enough, but we can do a little bit better. So this other one that we created basically gives you a couple different ways to exit. So one, you can exit for the spread coming down to $1. Again, you can adjust this in any way. If you put it on for 270, maybe you want to take it off for $1.50. The other way is on each leg. So if we wanted to leg out of the puts, we could then do so. So this is basically saying if the spread net gain was 50%, I would bid it at that point. And then what would happen, I have a nested trade after that. So if I take my puts off, then I have to take my calls off. So what would happen is this order would live on over here. And this would say I'm going to try to get my call side off for roughly 50 cents as well. All right, so that is one way. And the exact opposite would happen for the call side. If we were able to take the call side off first, so these are all ors. So this would be or. So the call side comes off, then this would go in, and then basically you'd be able to take the put side off. Okay, so that is one of the big powers of using OptionsRobot in terms of templates. Now, the other way to look at a spread, and let me just get out of the preview. I don't want it to be the preview. I want to go over here and move back up. So I'm going to go all the way back up to the top here, and you can see we working this spread in here. Now, the other way to look at a Iron Condor, and some people prefer this because it gives you the visualization. If I wanted to put on a trade in here, I can do Iron Condor. Again, it's going to use my same default that I had. and this will pull up in Spiders a trade. So I could, again, now I have a very easy way to adjust my options by just sliding these around. So I can come in back in here and say I want to do something like this. This box here is your short straddle, or I should say the offer of the straddle. And that gives you a good gauge of where the market makers feel that you can, where they are comfortable with selling that implied volatility. So you want to sell beyond that if you can. So again, we're going to look something like, let's say, a 655 versus a 645. And we'll put this on. Again, now this is going to default to the same expiration because that's what it already pulled up with. Now I may want to go, maybe a shorter term. Maybe I want to use the deck 26s and put an option on there. It's going to be less money, right? But so we're going to make that decision on where we want to do that. Now, I can't hit customize here. Why is that? Well, what we did in this service was allow this to allow you to make these adjustments on each card. So each one of these actually has a card in here, and I can make the price adjustment in here based off of that price. So I can lower it or raise it. I can lock it. I can do whatever I want with it. I can move these around to be different types of different expirations. So the spread can be a lot more complex. But again, this is the way to adjust this in here. So you're gonna have to make that midpoint. So if you want to change it to custom, I then go in and say where I want to offer this. And this would allow you to basically customize each leg so that you can get a price where you feel comfortable with it. So that allows you to go in. This is a little bit more time consuming from that perspective. If you are comfortable with again, I just kind of deleted one, but if you're comfortable with that, again, whatever numbers you are, then you can place your order right from here. Okay, so that is, if you don't like that, again, you can go back and pull it back up. I'm now in a custom because of what I did there. So again, if you lose or screw something up, you don't go back to your default where you were. You just go back to your Iron Condor, and it will set up those strikes. Again, I may have to move them back to where it was, but that is okay. So $6.95, $10 wide. Let's go to that right there. Okay, so I'm sitting in here, same one that I was before, or similar to where I was before. And again, this will be, I can't do the custom in this one because it's just not set up that way. So again, if I wanted to do more of a custom price, I'd have to go into each leg and adjust those so they were at that price. Still, if I place my order here, I don't want to do it at midpoint. I'm sorry, I don't want to do it at market, right? Just make sure it's not on that. So I want to do this as a separate strategy and hit confirm. All right, so that is in there. Again, it's going to give me the same choice to be able to put a template in, and all I have to do is click which one and apply. And instantaneously, you have all of these orders built out for you. So you can adjust them accordingly. You can change the values, you can change the spreads, you can change what you want it to do. Maybe it's not 50%, maybe it's only 20%, whatever your numbers are. So you can mess around with those and add or change, right? You can add another or do whatever you want in here in terms of being able to make those changes. So hopefully that helps you. Again, hopefully it is something that you will find value out of. So we'll see you guys on the other side. Thanks.